Hey guys, it's Spencer again, and today I'm joined again by
Guilherme, one of the designers for Arcadia Quest.
And what are we looking at today?
Well, we're looking at pets, and this is going to be a brief overview of how to play pets and how to plug it into the other core boxes.
So we will have another, just like with Inferno, we will have another like kind of abbreviated version of the gameplay that we've done with pets. But this is kind of just a quick and dirty rules overview to give people an idea of how the game actually plays once it hits the table, right?
Yeah, and we're focusing only on the pets aspect, not the core rules.
Sure. So let's get started when we talk about that. What exactly are pets?
Alright, so pets are these cute little critters that play in the guilds of the heroes, and also there are some wild pets determined by the scenario. And what they actually do is that they work like mobile auras, right? So they don't have they're not attacked by themselves, but they do provide a little boost for either characters that are close to them, or a little like a debuff, right? Like a little aura, negative aura for enemies when they're close by. So as you can see right here, the pets come with little bases that indicate to which guild they belong. And you probably have seen, but we have a little pet dashboard that every guild will have one of those. Pet dashboards have two spots right here, two slots for pets. A slot for the favorite pet and a slot for another pet, like a regular pet. Okay.
So what's the difference between a pet and a favorite pet?
So when you have one pet, you usually will slot that pet into your favorite pet slot. And that only means that that pet can actually receive in the future cards that are related to that pet. Things like, for example, pet armor, which is a card that will give your pet some defense damage.
And how do you get those kind of cards?
So usually they come through quests. They are rewards, like rewards for the PvE.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have one pet. He's my favorite pet. If I get some rewards from killing a named villain or something like that, or a special villain, I'm going to get a pet card.
Correct.
Which is going to be like a toy or armor. I've seen some of the cards. Cute little buffs to your pet. Which your pet also, as we mentioned before, buffs you or debuffs the enemy. So when you say mobile aura, just to make sure we're explaining the most layman terms, it's a positive effect or negative effect that is either applied to you, that's usually the positive ones, or to your opponents, that's usually the negative ones.
Yeah. Right. So why don't you take a look at how we do activate them, right?
Sure, perfect.
So during your turn, whenever you choose to activate a hero, you may move a pet from your guild either before or after that hero activates. For example, say I'm playing the blue guild here and I want to attack this goblin, I may choose to activate Oak right here, one of the new heroes for pets. And before he actually moves, I will use Meow, my little cat, to do, so Meow gets 3 movement points just like heroes, okay? For one movement he opens the door, then he steps outside. Now what Meow does, specifically him, it says close owners have +2 rerolls, so it's like a lucky charm, like a lucky pet. And positioned like this is already granting a little buff, like a 2 rerolls for all these characters. And then I would activate Oak to step outside and attack that goblin with the rerolls.
So yeah, when he attacks, you can reroll your dice 2 times.
Correct.
1 dice twice, or 2 dice at the same time.
Yep. What about yours there?
So I have Roar, and what Roar does is, again, if it was my turn, just to kind of reinforce what you've just talked about, I would select one guy I'm going to activate.
Right.
In this case, let's say these are Arcadia Quest 1 guys.
Yep.
I'm going to activate Greensleeves, because I like this guy. But before I move him or anything, I'm going to go ahead and use the pet. Now,
I know why you like him though.
Why is that?
Both of you guys like, to keep a perfect hairstyle.
Yeah, well, hair is very important to both of us. It's true. I'm going to activate Roar. Also, perfect hair on Roar.
There you go.
It's a beautiful mane right there. He's going to open the door, step out 1, and he can stay right here because what he does is all close owners get +1 attack die on
That's his roaring.
Roll. Yeah, so he roars and boosts my confidence, so I'm more likely to hit, right? And then I can move Greensleeves out, or even in this case, I'm still close.
Yep.
And this guy is technically in line of sight, so Greensleeves can shoot. So that's a benefit either here or here, but Roar, what he's allowed me to do is I've opened the door. If I decided to attack with him, I could kill him, right?
Yep.
And now I can still move.
Correct.
Because of the base rules. He's actually done a little bit of opening, so I can actually travel a little bit farther, gain more ground, right? Because he's allowed me to already open the door and get the almost a strike advantage, because I get to attack before having to move, so I don't have to interrupt my movement on my turn, thanks to the pets. Now, let's quickly talk about that because that's actually something I think is very interesting about pets. I exhaust a hero's item when I use it.
Right.
Is there anything I have to exhaust on a pet?
Not at all. The pet itself only activates when a hero does, moving before or after.
But he can activate every turn.
Every turn, yes.
So every hero I have in my guild, my pet can activate with him. And we've only, in our example, we've always activated the pet first because we want to get the pet to open the door. Because that's that always burns one of your movement points. So having the pet take care of it is a huge bonus, right?
It is.
So the pet can activate after a player though, right?
He can move after, yes.
Yeah, so I can move one of my heroes and then my pet can move.
Yep, he can close doors, like you said. They can take portals to teleport to other portals as well.
Yeah.
So another rules that's important is that pets do not occupy space. So you may have a pet in a space with more heroes, and they don't trigger guard reactions. So they're very special for you guys to position them before engaging in a fight, for example.
Are you trying to tell me these horrible monsters are like totally okay with just killing innumerous amounts of people, but they see a cat and they're like, no, good kitty, you go.
Exactly.
You go.
Keep going. Yes. That's just how cute they are.
Yeah, they're like, oh. Yeah. Alright, so we've talked about pets that our guilds control, but we have these other dudes that don't have bases attached to them.
Correct. So those are wild pets, and they are seeded by the scenario itself. All the campaigns that we already have released will have a little guide on how to set them up, as well as the campaign that comes with pets. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, those are wild pets. So those start out as monsters. Whenever a pet in the board does not have a guild base, that's a wild pet. And there's a card right there that represents all of them, right? They have attack values, defense values, just like any monster. Now the thing is, the first player who actually defeats a wild pet gets to capture him if he wants. So capturing a pet, say I move up here in a later turn, fight the panda and defeat him, I will grab my guild base, attach it to him, and place him right back. Get the panda card and slot in my guild. If my guild already has 2 pets, I can dismiss one and get the new one.
Now, when you dismiss him, he doesn't stay in your guild at all. He goes back into the wild.
Right.
So maybe in a later scenario, he'll show up as a wild pet again.
Right.
So if you had a guy I really liked at the beginning of the game, and you decided, I don't want this guy anymore, I might have a chance to capture that guy you had in a later scenario if he shows up as a wild pet.
Yep.
Which is really cool because it keeps the guilds dynamic. Another thing that you guys have done in Inferno with the angels and stuff is the dynamic guild changes throughout the campaign, right?
Correct.
And the pets kind of add another element to that.
Yeah, they really do play into the fights and how the auras will affect the fights, the enemies, and the allies.
It's really cool.
All right, so whenever a guild hero captures a pet, a wild pet, I should say, not only does he get to attach the base and capture that pet, but the others, they all run away from the scenario.
Right, so he becomes active immediately, but all the other pets are gone, so other players have lost their chance to get a pet this scenario.
So if you want to get a pet, you gotta make sure they get there first.
And I just want to point something out that you kind of brushed over very quickly since we're talking about scenarios again. The campaign book for pets does have scenarios for plugging pets into Inferno.
Right.
Arcadia Quest, the original Arcadia Quest,
And Beyond the Grave.
and Beyond the Grave.
Right.
So that's all in the campaign book inside this box.
Correct. So yeah, we
really
do provide we do provide all the maps with placements for the wild pets.
Awesome.
All right. So another thing to note is that the Arcadia Pets box also comes with bases, these counter bases here, plastic bases, to be plugged into Inferno or the base game.
Oh yeah, because the colors all match either the Inferno guilds or the base game guilds.
Correct. Yeah.
That's really cool. So it's cross compatible, and I'm assuming as you guys release games in the future, if they are games in the future,
Maybe.
that will be something that's taken into consideration as well.
Right.
Right. Cool. All right. So we've seen the pets and the pets mechanics, and they're kind of the big new feature. But there's also other new stuff in the box, right?
Yeah, sure. So, like we said before, there are 2 new heroes right here, Oak and Green Hood, kind of a like elven theme couple right there.
Yeah.
We also have new monsters. So the big new villain is Vex right here, which is a pet-obsessed witch, and her pet, the Owl Bunny right here, which some of you may remember
from the first Arcadia Quest.
Yeah. She also has some of her twisted pets. That's her thing. She twists pets into like these experiments. The Corilla right here and the Hedge Hornet. We also have 3 new tiles to compose the new campaign for pets.
So yeah, these tiles, it's pretty easy to notice that they're kind of green and a little more fantasy-esque than the Arcadia City type tiles, right?
Yeah, because this is set kind of in the like a Central Park kind of area, right? It's a big green area inside the city of Arcadia where all these pets are.
So basically you're telling me in Arcadia Quest Pets, I can go into the Central Park of Arcadia and beat up some people's animals.
Correct. Yep.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Great, awesome, man. Well, that's a cool overview, and I think everyone who likes Arcadia Quest should be really excited about this product because you guys have managed to capture, add another layer of mechanics while also capturing kind of a new art style and a new system that I think adds a lot of flavor to the game.
And a lot of fun. You guys should definitely check out the gameplay video. It was a lot of fun, the session.
Yeah, it was. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Kyle, for being here. And please back the project.